All right, we're going to take a look right now at this Russia deal, the Prigozhin, the guy who owns the Wagner Group, which is essentially Russia's version of Blackwater. So it's the private security company that they hire to do shit that the government can then deny having any involvement with. The same way that the United States government has used Blackwater, they're pretty much the same deal. Um, what happened was the leader, or not the owner of the Wagner Group, said that he wasn't going to work with the Russian military anymore or whatever, and then decided that he was going to march on Moscow and apparently started to do that and then immediately was like, no, actually, we're gonna get the fuck out of here instead. um, anyway, what we're looking at here, I guess we'll just look at the situation. We're going to find out if the whole thing was what I would call a work, or if there was any legitimacy to any of it. And our root card here is a reversed Nine of Wands, and the main card is the Ace of Swords. I've been looking at this issue today, right? And apparently, the reason that the dude said that he wasn't going to work with the Russian government anymore, which is exclusively who pays them, right? But it was because the government decided that they weren't going to work with the Wagner Group anymore, I think, apparently. So ultimately, it was an economic thing. It was like an economic protest. But let's look at the cards and see what we got. So the Ace of Swords is the main card, and that's basically having control. It's like taking control and responsibility for what is happening so as not to be a victim of anything. And that sits on top of a reversed Nine of Wands. In the Nine of Wands, the person is trapped in this maze, right? And they've been in there a long time, and there's a potential way out, but they're like, oh my God, am I really going to try this shit again? Now, here, the hope is gone. So, this automatically is showing that there used to be some hope that I guess something good could come out of all of this, and that hope had disappeared. So, in the face of losing hope that anything could ever change, it looks like this was how this guy Perogin or whatever Perozin. It sounds like pierogi to me, which is a food. Um, so that's what keeps coming into my head. But the pierogi guy, he looks like here that he was trying to just take control of a situation so he wasn't going to end up being a victim. Now, it could have been that he might have known that the next thing that he was ordered to do was going to end in tragedy. Let's just look at this on either side of this Ace of Swords to see what we got. And we got the Eight of Swords and the Chariot. So the Eight of Swords is showing being trapped and basically being fucked with, right? So here's the loss of hope, and this is a situation where it would kind of blow over in time, right? But it's this period of anxiety and just freaking out. Now that leads to the Ace of Swords taking control, and in this case, the Chariot. Um, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of the guy who owned this Wagner group, this would probably be him getting the fuck out of there. Like, I'm not going to have any part of this anymore because it'll probably end up with me getting killed. So he's like, fuck this. Now, I do want to see what the chariot is moving toward here, because this is going to be the future um, trajectory. Well, it looks like it doesn't necessarily lead to a solution. Here's the thing about this dude, and all of these guys, all of the players in this are oligarchs, right? So these are fucking billionaires and they're businessmen. This guy who started this Wagner group was not a soldier, he was a caterer, a businessman. He started with a hot dog stand, then he became a caterer, right? And he had some restaurants. And Putin apparently really liked his restaurants or whatever. And then, as these things go, they started working together, making the business deals, whatever. So, this is a businessman. So, the businessman is trying to get out of this situation. But as it moves forward, we have the rich businessman who is really fighting the actual change which happens over here in this portal. So it looks like this was action that was meant to kind of get him out of a pickle, but him clinging on to his business dealings and the money will keep him definitely in the pickle. Let's just see what the Tattoo Tarot says about this. And our root card with the Tattoo Tarot is the Two of Cups. So, this is harmonious energies. It's like the timing being right and all of that. And the main card here is the Knight of Coins. Now, I'm just going to pull one more on this Knight of Coins, and it's the freaking Knave of Coins. No shit. Well, I am going to look at my sheets to see what specifically is said about the coins court cards in this deck. And what do we get here? So with the knave, which is the younger one, it's like study, reflection, meditation, concentration. None of that seems to apply here. Scholarship, the love of learning and knowledge. Messenger, collecting and circulating information. Maybe. Management or its lack. So then the knight, able to finish the task, doing what is necessary, it's profitable stuff. I mean, ultimately, these sheets are not that useful. But we're looking at two court cards, the knight and the knave of coins. This is business shit. It's all business shit. This was apparently the right time to make some sort of business move. And I think the the last reason that I heard, at least, because the stories are shifting all around, but the last story that I heard was that this guy did this as a protest to basically being cut out of government contracts somehow. Um, and the Two of Cups here with both of these coins court cards are just saying that it was a really good time to do a business deal. Now it's interesting that this is not the knight, or it's not the king and the queen. It's the knight and the knave. So these might be younger business people or businesses that are maybe not too old. So this might be some new business players like showing up in there. Let's just see what the Tattoo Tarot says about where the energy of the pierogi guy, where does it go? And we end up at the Two of Coins. Well, that seems like, as far as any sort of a business thing, that wouldn't be such a bad deal. Let's see if there's anything unique about this Two of Coins. Flow of money, obtaining money to survive, a happy business face. Right. ongoing work to launch an enterprise. Well, the way that this would probably work is, let's say the Wagner group stopped getting money from the Russian government, which is where they get all their money from. Then this would basically be it would kind of show starting a new company, and then it's just like the top secret programs when they say that they get rid of them, but they really just rename them and they keep doing them. Oh, that program was discontinued, but actually it was renamed something else and is still going. So that really looks like what we have going on here as well. So if there is some official break with the Wagner group, I wouldn't expect it to be real. Then there would be some other company that this guy had something to do with that they would still be working with doing the same shit. But at the end of the day, none of this looks like it had really anything to do with anything other than money. And maybe this guy felt some sort of fear for his safety. Actually, I'm going to pull a card on that. This pierogi dude, is he going to die? I mean, of course he's going to die eventually, but is he going to get suicided? And the Ace of Cups is a yes, but I'm not taking that as a card of like him being sniped or anything. The reversed hermit. Well, I also wouldn't really expect this guy to disappear into the shadows because we get the reversed hermit. I think that this might be someone who's trying to, like, maybe disappear but can't. But as far as, like, is he going to get whacked? The Ace of Cups, because I didn't ask if he's going to get whacked. I asked if he was going to die, which is stupid because everybody dies. But I'm still not taking the Ace of Cups as a particularly murdery card. So what I'm going to do is collect these. This was, from looking at the cards, in no way an actual insurgency. They weren't trying to overthrow nothing, right? Now I'm going to look at Vladimir Putin and just sort of the stability of that government. Because what if this type of thing starts happening a lot? It seems like that would fuck them up pretty good. So let's just look at the stability of Putin control and the Russian government. We are going to give these a little cut ski here. All right. Root card, 9 of Swords. And the main card is the 6 of Pentacles. I am going to put one more. What this looks like is fear over resources. So there's definitely a fear. It's not like they'd be confident in breathing easy, right? The 9 of Swords is definitely showing a fear of splintering or whatever. But the 6 of Pentacles is really showing fucking wasting resources, just throwing money down the toilet. And depending on what your end game is, anyone who's fucking funding this war, you don't get anything out of it. And the land itself, if you are trying to like gain farmland, it's going to be all fucked up, because there've been fucking landmines in there and shit. So the whole thing, at least from what I can see, is a complete drain on resources. But this would be fear of not necessarily running out of money, just of fucking wasting resources. Let's just see what the ghost is. And we get the always creepy Wheel of Fortune. it's really hard to read in this. Um, the Wheel of Fortune is the big galactic clock. And the presence of the Wheel of Fortune is also saying that the events that are happening are, in some way, they are inevitable. That they would be reflections of different layers of energy. And actually, now that I think about it, in the interest of learning more about the Tattoo Tarot, so there was an insight that I had that bleeds back and forth between the Tattoo Tarot and the Deviant Moon, and it has to do directly with the Nine of Swords. So I've been reading the Deviant Moon for years, and the Nine of Swords is this anxiety, and it's like freaking out about something that you are not necessarily taking control of. Now, this is the Nine of Swords in the Tattoo Tarot. And you see the eye there in the center of all of these swords. But what the eye represents in the Tattoo Tarot is basically the need to look to a different layer of perception. So it would be like using your intuition or your third eye. Here, you've thought about something, you've looked at it from every angle, and you got nothing. You got no fucking answers because there aren't any. And that would lead to just the circular fucking brain going around. And we've all been there, right? And here, the Nine of Swords is really showing with the perception that you've been using, there is no answer. So you have to look to a different layer of perception. And that would be the third eye or fucking, whatever. Look to your dreams. Look to, maybe close your eyes and this is now reminding me of Star Wars, but reach out with your feelings. It shows using a different layer of your perception because your eyes and brain together are not getting the fucking job done. There is no answer you could come to that way. It is come to in a different way. So that is just a little lesson on the Tattoo Tarot and also a deeper understanding of the Deviant Moon. Now, I guess since I've got all the cards out here, what I'm going to do is just pull one more card to represent this clusterfuck in Ukraine. So where's that at? And we get a Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, on one side, well, I guess our root card is also a Queen of Swords. So we've got a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is damn ready to fight, And on the other side is the Queen of Pentacles, who isn't necessarily a fighter. She likes to solve problems with money. But money doesn't solve these problems. So she throws resources. And that goes back to the six of Pentacles that we had of, the resources being thrown away. The Queen of Pentacles is really fucking good at throwing away resources. And here we've got on one side a Queen of Pentacles just throwing resources at something that can't be solved that way. And on the other side, a Queen of Swords who is damned ready to fight and stab her in the neck. So this doesn't look like it's changing. I guess let's just pull a card to see what happens with the meeting of these two. And we get the High Priestess. Wow. So this is hidden stuff. And I'm sure that this is true in all conflicts, but there's shit that goes on in back rooms, agreements that are made between people who are supposed to be enemies, but that's not how it works. And I think that's what this is showing as well. It's just like the secret, hidden aspect to it. And if I remember right, this card has shown up looking at this whole situation many times. But when I did a reading on this, it was probably like 6, 8 months ago now. That reading suggested that this war is going to go on for 20 years. And I've seen nothing so far that would make me think that that's not true. Um, but that's what we get looking at this this situation. It does not look like there was never any real insurgency or anything when it comes to the Wagner Group, and it's just business. And that's what we have. Thank you and peace.